Hello, welcome back to Armchair Armory, and it has just finished at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 0, West Ham United 3. For the most part, this was a really, really poor performance. I think we started off well. We started off on the front foot. weren't really creating very much. But we started off on the front foot possession-wise, and then in the 13th minute, West Ham had a counter-attack which ended up with the ball looking like it went out of play. Gerard Bowen gets it back in. David Raya's out of his goal. Everyone's ball watching. Ball falls to Thomas Soucek, and he just taps it in to make it 1-0. There was a 3.5 minute VAR check to see whether it went across the line, and as soon as my first reaction was, it's in. But then you can sort of see through Bowen's legs that the ball was out. But I thought to myself, well, the VAR are going to do what they normally do when they can't tell a clear and obvious error. They'll give the goal. So the goal stood. Very much so after that, it was just possession based. It was just a lot of possession. We did control the game in that sense. But again, it was sort of the same thing that we've sort of suffered from in seasons previous, where we just haven't been able to take our chances. We're doing what we normally do, which I've said numerous times, and I'm sick of saying it. I don't think it's Arteta. I think it's just Arsenal in general, because it used to happen under Emery. It used to happen under Wenger, where we just tried to create the perfect goal. And it's like sometimes just, Ali McCoy was saying, even though he was pissing me off because of his Scottish bias, because obviously David Moyes is Scottish and he's West Ham's manager, so he was praising everything that West Ham did and scolding everything that we did. But yeah, like, so we go in at halftime 1-0 down, and it's like, well, hopefully we can't be as bad as that. Second half we come out and it's pretty much the same thing. We're holding on to the ball a lot. We're keeping possession and getting the ball up the pitch, but we're not really doing anything with it. Did I say 3-0 at the beginning? I meant to say 2. It was 2-0, not 3-0. It's probably because it's been in my head. I was convinced that we were going to lose 3-0 by the way we were playing. So I apologize. It was Arsenal 0, West Ham United 2. I just realized halfway through, oh shit, I've made a mistake. But yeah, so second half we come out, pretty much the same thing. It's very, very frustrating to see us control the ball and not give West Ham much of an inkling, but we're not really doing anything with it. And to be fair to them, they seemed like they were set up defensively well. Everything that came into the box, every pass that we tried to thread through, Ogbonna or Mavropanos were there. And then this is the thing that I say always happens, and people look at me like I'm a nutter. Every time an ex-Arsenal player comes to play against us, they always score. So 55th minute, not too long after the game restarts, West Ham have a corner, Ward-Prowse whips it in, it comes off the head of Mavropanos. There is an argument to say it came off of Gabriel, but Mavropanos claimed the goal. And and then we're 2-0 down. And it was just frustrating. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it was just frustrating to see us just sort of, and then after that, it was just kind of, there were a couple of substitutions. Martinelli came off for Nketiah. Zinchenko came off for Reece Nelson, and then I can't remember who came off for Smith Rowe now. Oh yeah, it was Trossard. Trossard came off for Smith Rowe, and those substitutions kind of gave us a little bit more edge, but we still couldn't. We had a few chances, but they were more half chances. They weren't anything to write home about. There was a overhead kick that was easily saved. There was I think the best chance of the game was Erdegaard's shot from outside the box that Areola saved and had to palm away for a corner. But yeah, everything was just gathered up by Areola, West Ham's goalkeeper, like really easily. And it was just a frustrating night. I don't think we played well. That's now the third loss of the Premier League season. I think it's the fourth loss overall. Well, no, actually, it's the fifth loss, because we've lost to West Ham. That's the second time we've lost to West Ham at home this season as well, because we lost to them in the Carabao Cup. The thing I said prior to the game was we just have to outdo Liverpool and Villa, and to some extent City, and we didn't do that. City and Liverpool both won their games. Villa didn't. Villa lost 3-2 to Man United, which I'm not surprised about, really, because that's the kind of thing that can happen to an Unai Emery team. It used to happen to us a lot. But yeah, it's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. But you can't cry. You can't. There's no use crying. As the age-old saying says, there's no use crying over spilt milk. And we're probably at position zero in terms of where we were at the start of the game. We were already second at the start of the game. We finished the game in second. It's now about trying to it's now about just going to Fulham on Sunday and getting the 3 points. Like, Fulham now becomes a must-win game, and it's going to be very frustrating. And I don't know, normally I don't lose my temper over this, but if I see another performance like that where we're having a lot of the ball, which is great, but we're not really doing anything with it, and we end up losing, it's just annoying. And this is why I don't think we're going to win the league, because you could never replicate form 2 seasons in a row. I mean, teams like Man City and Man United in the 90s and 2000s used to do it, but I don't know, like some teams just can't replicate the same form year in, year out. Look at Liverpool last season, for example. Look at Chelsea after they've won leagues and stuff like that. It's even us when we were winning leagues, it used to happen. So yeah, I'm not confident about us challenging at all, to be honest. But then again, I never have high expectations anyway, because I've been an Arsenal fan in the bad times, and I know how things can be. But just got to take the L, I suppose, and on to the next game, which is Fulham on Sunday. That's it. It was a poor performance overall, not good enough overall, and we got to improve big time for Fulham on Wednesday, because otherwise we're going to be slipping down the table and have teams like United and West Ham to deal with. So yeah, disappointing tonight, but we move on. There are worse things to be upset about than football. It's not going to destroy the rest of my week, although I have to go back to work tomorrow, which isn't great. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there in that case. I will be back again previewing Fulham, but until then, as always, take care and stay safe.